Does he still want to get back together with you? Hello, 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 everyone. The development of the story is full of suspense, and the beautiful times you once shared make you constantly look back. So today, let's see if he still wants to get back together with you, and how fate will arrange your development. What is the one thing he wants to say to you the most? Today, let's explore the answer together through our popular video. Before we start, please like and comment so I can sense more information about the other person. The 3 cards in the picture are today's 3 options, starting from the left. They are the first group on the left, the second group in the middle, and the third group on the right. Please think about the other person at this moment, and then choose the group you feel most connected to based on your first intuition. Haven't decided yet? You can like and pause. Just make your choice and check out the corresponding content. After liking and commenting, let's look at the first group of friends who chose the indicator card on the far left. Today, we will first use the inspiration corresponding to the card spread to separately look at your feelings for him and his feelings for you, and then look at the development of the relationship as well as what he wants to say to you. First, let's see how your feelings for him are. Your feelings for him are like the Wands page. You are still observing him. Like the Wands page, standing there and watching. He wants to plan what kind of action to take. So he can't easily let go of you yet, and you also find it hard to let go and leave. However, considering the Wands, you might have a lot of things to worry about. Your view of the relationship falls under the Hanged Man, which indicates a bit of a stalemate, although this emotional relationship has its beautiful aspects, it also has certain challenges. There is still a sense of stagnation. This Hanged Man card makes me feel that you believe this emotional relationship has a certain idealistic quality. It is in a stage where it can't move forward or backward, and its progress might be very slow. Or it might be at odds with some developments in reality. It's a situation where things are going in opposite directions, because the Hanged Man is not very compatible with reality. So this relationship is either developing very slowly or it has some inherent limitations. How do you expect the relationship to develop? The High Priestess appeared, and when the High Priestess is present, I feel that everyone doesn't necessarily expect the relationship to be extremely passionate, because I think the friends in this group view this emotional relationship quite rationally. It's quite clear and definite that you already have a good idea of how your relationship will develop. If you expect the High Priestess to be present, I think you hope to be able to see this relationship clearly and rationally to understand how it will truly develop. For you, you are aware of both the strengths and weaknesses of this relationship. You are not approaching it with a fervent mindset, hoping for an extremely intimate or perfect relationship between the two of you. Instead, you would hope to have a certain level of control, to be able to handle and adjust this emotional relationship well. And indeed, some friends might be extremely exhausted and very tired in this relationship, because actually, keeping a certain distance from this relationship might be your way of protecting yourself. You might not want to love again, because even though this person is very important to you, I feel that loving him again might be something you can't necessarily endure. You would hope that whether it's good or bad, you can see clearly how this emotional relationship will develop, allowing yourself to gain more wisdom and view this emotion from more dimensions. As for him, his feelings for you are represented by the 3 of Cups. Since it falls under the water element, it definitely means that he still likes you and cares about you in his heart, so it's impossible to say otherwise. The eyes have already disappeared, stagnated. I think the complexity of the 3 of Cups here might be related to the relationship of the 3 views, but if you ask whether there is affection, there definitely is. Moreover, I don't feel that his affection for you has stagnated. He often reminisces about the beautiful moments you shared and the positive aspects of your relationship. Compared to the first group of friends, if you feel like you want to end this relationship and move on, the other person seems to be slightly more enthusiastic about the relationship than you are. However, this doesn't mean that the more enthusiastic person can handle the relationship well. His view of the relationship is like a reversed disc. Although he still likes you, this relationship makes him feel very troubled. He thinks you are what he wants, but within this relationship, in a passive state, he will be unable to resolve it. He feels that he cannot find the right approach, the way out, or a method to cope with it. So, it seems to me that what troubles him is not his feelings for you, but certain characteristics of your relationship. These might be causing both of you a lot of confusion. He hopes that the future development will involve swords. His mindset is more about the overall perspective. Actually, it is indeed a bit more positive compared to our first group of friends. I think that for our first group of friends, you might currently lack trust in him, and you might, not want to talk to him or do anything with him anymore. You give me a feeling of the High Priestess, which is a state of maintaining a sense of distance, so you make me feel that you seem to hope for this emotional relationship to be more about yourself. Be more transparent, and a bit more restrained. To be certain, in this relationship, you have done some things you didn't want to do. You have violated your own principles and boundaries, exceeding the limits you should bear in a relationship. After realizing your discomfort in this relationship, you want to let go. You want to move on, and you want to face this emotional situation with ease and decisiveness. Although I can see that you still have some hesitation about this person, in reality, you do have the mindset of wanting to leave and let yourself go. Stay calm and try to make your words wiser. This mindset will be more prevalent because you might have accumulated quite a bit of disappointment in this relationship. As for his feelings towards you, I think the Three of Cups here indeed shows that he likes you and can't let go. He currently can't accept that your relationship should just stop, but at the same time, he is also somewhat facing your relationship. He is actually in a state where he doesn't know how to proceed because the upright king is someone who is very assertive. He knows what to do and which direction to go, being passionate, proactive, and positive. However, the reversed king card indicates a lack of willpower and leadership. This person, when facing your emotional relationship, feels quite helpless and tends to be in an impatient state. As for his expectations for future development, he is like the Page of Swords. I feel that he is still reluctant to let go of this emotional relationship. But if you ask whether he is very courageous and confident, the Page of Swords itself is in a state of sensitivity and vigilance. If you say he is full of confidence to come to you, I guess his confidence is somewhat lacking. However, he truly doesn't want to let go, and he might want to try. He's observing to see if you will forgive him, accept him, or tolerate some of his small mistakes. I think he feels this way because he hasn't made a final decision about the relationship yet. He is reluctant to let go at the moment because he still has feelings for you. He might also be aware that he hasn't handled certain things well, so he has a cautious mindset, waiting to see what you will do. By compromising on some of his demands, you take a step back, which makes things much easier for him. Another possible reason could be this three-party relationship, because after all, there is a cup for your feelings. He might either think you have other romantic interests, or he might have other romantic interests around him. So, in this situation, he wouldn't be very confident in talking to you or fighting for anything. I think he feels quite helpless, or rather, he lacks a solution. It's a bit like saying it's not about compromising for the sake of the relationship or changing yourself completely. Let's look at the development of the relationship over the next 3 months, the past, present, and future. In the past, we have the reversed Nine of Cups. The reversed Nine of Cups indicates that there were quite a lot of emotions in the past because cups represent emotions and were quite positive. However, the reversed Nine of Cups suggests that during good times, someone might have been indulging in pleasure and despite feeling the other's goodness, was unwilling to make adjustments and changes. It might mean a lack of a sense of direction, but the emotions are still quite good. In the past, there was a feeling of great joy, but this past joy felt like it lacked a sense of direction. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the woman will obviously lack a sense of security. This means that the woman might consider leaving due to practical issues. And what about the future? The future falls on a reversed Judgment card. Your emotional relationship is very likely to continue being entangled. To be honest, the Judgment card indicates that you can't let go. Both of you, to some extent, can't let go in your hearts. You might have more negative views about him, and he might not be good for you, but you might still find it hard to let go. A little. On his side, he finds it even harder to let go of you. I think there's a high probability that he will take action. Let me confirm this judgment card. Let's set the judgment in the insurance office with this reversed hanged man. All right? I feel that in all likelihood, this emotional relationship cannot be completely ended. But if you want it to be particularly good, I'm sorry, friends, it's not possible to say that you are particularly good. The reversed hanged man gives me the feeling of being entangled and unclear. It seems like you will still be entangled due to certain issues, pulling each other back and forth. And this reverse swords card gives me the feeling that in your development, it's either you or him. You both might make a mistake because of something, as the reversed swords suggest. If you try, you might have made some unwise plans, which could have led to a chance for both of you to reconcile and develop well. But because these county issues were not handled properly, the emotional relationship between the two of you feels stuck again. However, if you say, the issues were not handled properly, does that mean you two will completely separate? No. The reversed hanged man indicates that even if you want to let go, you can't. There is a bit of karmic relationship between the two of you. Or rather, this particular kind of entanglement makes me feel that your emotional development is not particularly good. You want to completely break it off, but the key is that you can't let go in your heart. You have this tendency, so you need to face this development calmly and be a bit careful. This reverse swords card makes me feel that you might get hurt in this relationship. In this situation, it's just too torturous. I think you might already be feeling quite tormented because of your view on the relationship. The Hangman card suggests that this relationship may have been stuck for a long time, making you uncomfortable. Let's draw another card to see what this person most wants to say to you. Two of Pentacles. Oh, Two of Pentacles. If you two are in a long-distance situation, this person wants to tell you many things. Due to the distance, he hasn't been able to do things very well, but if given another chance, he wants to properly manage and adjust your relationship. Of course, whether or not there is a long distance, I think as long as the Two of Pentacles appears, it means he wants to tell you something. He wants to manage and adjust your emotional relationship well. Because the star B2 represents encountering and solving problems. He is someone who manages and faces issues, but at the same time, he hopes for mutual energy between the two of you. If it's a three-party relationship, he would also want to tell you that he hopes you can give him some more time, because the issue of a three-party relationship cannot be resolved quickly. However, he hopes to regain control over it. Ability means the right to change and adjust this emotional relationship. Well, of course, the Earth element cards are definitely related to reality. If there are some real-life issues, like the emotional relationship between the two of you is one-on-one, but this person also has important real-life matters, like studies, career, etc., to face, he might want to tell you that he also needs to handle these things, and he's stuck. Sorry. At the same time, he wants to manage things, meaning he wants to tell you that besides love, he also has other things to balance. You are someone he doesn't want to let go of, but he also needs to hold on to other aspects of his life, like his bread, right? So, this is the information for our first group of friends. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best. Remember to claim your good luck. After liking and commenting, let's move on to the second group, for those who chose the middle indicator card. Now, let's take a look at today's theme. First, we will use an inspiration-based card spread to separately examine your feelings for him and his feelings for you. Then, we will use a time flow card spread to see the development of the relationship. And finally, we will look at the last card to see what he wants to say to you. Alright, let's first look at your feelings for him. Which card represents your feelings for him? The reversed Queen of Cups. It appears as a water element card, so this relationship is definitely... Yes, there was genuine affection, because when you can use terms like queen or king, it definitely indicates a heartfelt and invested emotion. However, the reversed Queen of Cups also signifies that this person's presence greatly affects your emotions. She might give you some positive feedback, making you feel very happy and energized, but once your relationship hits a low point, you might feel extremely down as well. For one, I feel that your emotions are very, very much influenced by him. Sometimes when your emotions rebound, you might feel extremely distressed, so this relationship is somewhat torturous, because the new Queen of Cups is a very emotional card. You currently view the relationship as a King of Swords. You also realize that he is not a particularly soft or considerate person. In the relationship, the King of Swords tends to be quite harsh, and not very considerate of others' feelings. The King of Swords generally focuses a lot on himself, is not very tolerant in his speech, and tends to weigh the pros and cons in everything he does. Therefore, he is not considered an ideal partner in a romantic relationship. I feel that you are quite dissatisfied with this relationship and with him. You have a lot of unhappiness and resentment towards him and his emotions. You might be holding on to some grievances against him. The development of your relationship is represented by the reverse strength card. I think our friends in the second group might be experiencing unstable energy recently, and this is affecting your emotional relationship. If we look at it from a hopeful perspective, it leans more towards you wanting to develop a better relationship with him, but you find it difficult to be truly honest and straightforward about your feelings. When you face this person, you always feel a significant emotional fluctuation. It seems like this person makes your heart feel stuck. You can speak well with others, but when it comes to this person, you become like the reversed Queen of Cups, very prone to emotional states. You might really find this relationship challenging. When you face him, you tend to make mistakes, and that's because he indeed makes it hard for you to stay calm. This relationship is truly a bit difficult for you. Now, let's look at his feelings for you. It fell on the reversed Knight of Pentacles. He might now be reconsidering his feelings for you. The main point is whether to take action or not. Of course, with the reversed Knight of Pentacles, this person might feel that this is a choice between love and bread, because the Pentacles card definitely deals with real-world matters. He might feel that if he has to seriously maintain or invest in this relationship, it could make him lose his sense of self. The sense of balance makes him feel unsure about how to proceed or what to do. He believes the current relationship is in a reversed star B2 position. You two might be in a three-way relationship, or he is really struggling and conflicted about this situation. Work, reality, material things. When it comes to these issues, he feels that the relationship is out of control and he can't maintain your feelings. There might be some entanglements of interests or money. I think both of you might have genuinely loved and liked each other at the beginning, but now, or even earlier, you have started to consider other factors. The problems in reality often make people feel really painful and struggling. He also feels that this relationship makes him feel like he can't keep it going, as if he can't maintain it at this level. The future development of King Pachu is one of moderation. I think when moderation is present, at least he doesn't want your relationship to be particularly bad. Both of you seem to take this relationship very seriously, as the expectations for this relationship are represented by two major cards, and for you, it's the Court card, which makes me think that in this relationship, you care more about the person. There might be many things in this relationship that you need to address. What you need to consider is important, but your thoughts are mainly focused on him as a person. If he can show you the energy that makes you trust him, the energy that makes you feel you can rely on him, you will be very determined to try some very challenging emotions with him. You are aware of the real-life issues between you two, and you know what those issues are. However, if you feel that this person gives you enough confidence and he shows it sufficiently, this kind of sincerity makes you completely trust it. No matter what obstacles there are in reality, you are willing to try with it, whether it's suffering, hardship, or facing a mountain of knives and a sea of fire, you are actually willing. You mainly look at how much this person cares about you, and your concerns about other risks are secondary. As for it, the focus will shift more from you to it, in reality or in material terms, because his view of you and the relationship falls on the earth element level. So it proves that he is really rational. He values material things, wealth and benefits very highly. To be honest, this person is someone who looks at the big picture and is not able to focus solely on love. For him, love is a minor affair compared to the responsibilities he has to bear. The expectations of others, his future career, are all things he needs to strive for. He feels that his life has many facets, and love is just one aspect of it. Therefore, when it comes to emotions, he tends to approach them with a more restrained mindset. After all, his expectation is the Temperance card. Is this relationship not important to him? He thinks it is important, but he hopes it can proceed in an orderly manner, because temperance is actually about integration and adjustment. He doesn't want to give up on your relationship. But in all likelihood, even if he really reaches out to reconcile and contacts you again, I estimate that after you reconcile and integrate, you might still feel that this relationship doesn't give you the sense of security you need. This is actually a supply and demand balance issue, where some people are willing to be in a relationship. Some people put in a lot of effort and love with all their might. Others might think that love is just a part of life, and they believe they are trying hard too. But the reason they feel they are putting in a lot of effort and dedication is that they only plan to invest 30% of their energy into love, and they think they have reached their limit. In reality, no one is at fault. Everyone believes they are doing more within their own capacity. Some might feel they are already very tolerant and not demanding anything from their partner, but others might desire a greater degree of freedom. The issue with the emotional relationship is that the two of you might have different views on this relationship. You two won't lose contact because I think he doesn't want to let go either. However, I do feel that for the second group of friends, you place too much importance on this relationship and this person. You tend to magnify many of his small actions, which makes it very easy for you to let your thoughts be influenced by him. You find it difficult to speak properly when facing him, even though some things are clear. Things can be better expressed and spoken out, but when you face him again, you might get stuck, you might stumble. However, I believe he doesn't want to let go, and that's true. Now, let's take a look at the development of the relationship, using the timeline to see the past, present, and the next 3 months of development. In the past, there was an 8 of Pentacles, an 8 of Pentacles, and earth elements. You might have had some entanglements in terms of real-world interests, and when the 8 of Pentacles appeared in the past, it might indicate that this relationship indeed lasted for quite a long time. The feelings might have shown up later, but the attention you paid to each other lasted for a considerable amount of time. Now, it has fallen into a reversed cups position, which indicates that the feelings are fading away, because when the Ace of Cups is reversed, the emotions are not quite there. It's not about the degree of positive growth, but rather feeling an inner lack. However, both of you tend to pretend on the surface that you're okay, like, I'm fine, this relationship doesn't affect me that much. But deep down, you're both suffering from the pains of love, drinking the bitter cup of love, while outwardly pretending not to care. In the future, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. Indeed, this is a fated emotional relationship for both of you. Today, it seems like both the first and second groups have a bit of this mixed in. This connection exists, but you might be a bit better off than the first group, because the Wheel of Fortune, after all, represents a turning point and potential for development. I think the two of you are destined to encounter a certain object, and it's very easy for a twin flame relationship to appear here. You might feel that you have one attitude, and he has a completely opposite attitude, but you can't completely deny or give up on it. The future will be. The added development of the Wheel of Fortune indeed represents good luck. Let's draw 2 cards to define the Wheel of Fortune. The Reversed Magician. Swords, swords, just seeing swords. Before, when I saw the King of Swords, I felt helpless, but now when I see the King of Swords, I just want to laugh. All right, when this King of Swords is around, what is the likelihood that the man is still the same as before? Just like the way you saw him before, right? You have a King of Swords in your relationship, don't you? Right? What is he like? Will he change himself? People can change themselves, but it's very difficult. Whether or not to change and why to change actually depends on how much leverage one can gain after the change, although I know that friends in this group might really want to talk about feelings with the other person, but actually, you should approach this with a business mindset. It's not about saying, if you take the initiative today, I'll give you something in return, but rather, you should try to show him more possibilities within this relationship. It's not that everyone is the same, whether they are emotional or rational, but everyone tends to seek benefits and avoid harm. Remember this, and you'll know how to interact with him. It means that I think the two of you will still interact, but the reversed Magician and the King of Swords will lead to the Wheel of Fortune. The energy of this card indicates that your future is not a smooth path. Any emotional relationship, any popular video, any personalized divination, if someone tells you that after reconciling, you will immediately and have no conflicts, that's impossible, my friends, because for a relationship to reach a point of disconnection, it must have involved struggles, efforts, and fights. Afterwards, the unresolved issues will still be a long road to walk, even if you get in touch again. Take it slow, don't rush, and don't expect a complete breakthrough in the relationship in just 3 days or a week. It's a very small probability. It's not entirely impossible, but it's a rare situation. So, let's take our time. After all, it seems like there is some special destiny or fate between you two. The reversed position of the Magician feels like a communication breakdown. What about the King of Swords? The male is too rational. So the development is like the Wheel of Fortune, which has two meanings. On one hand, the Wheel of Fortune is indeed a good card. It represents that the emotional relationship has a chance to turn and change. However, the Wheel of Fortune also continuously turns like a wheel. So while there is a chance for your relationship to improve, it won't be a complete improvement. It also suggests that due to some factors, communication, as well as facing past issues again, might require the two of you to discuss and explore some matters anew. If you want things to go more smoothly in the future, then let's communicate well and try to remain calm. Now, let's draw another card to see what he most wants to say to you. This card is the reversed Hierophant, indicating the pressure from worldly matters that he wants to talk to you about. Many things are actually done out of necessity, out of helplessness. He indeed realizes that there are areas where he hasn't done well. Compared to others, you are someone he feels is very special in his heart. However, he is indeed driven by the pursuit of power, worldly matters, and interests, which prevents him from fully committing to the relationship. What I hear is an apology from this person. He feels indebted and regretful about this emotional relationship. It's sad because he has some worldly thoughts and feels oppressed by power. This may not necessarily be in a practical sense, but could be on a conscious level. He is unable to face things from a new perspective, from an inner angle. He can't fully follow his heart when interacting with you. So what I hear is that he wants to apologize to you. That's all for our second group of friends. Thank you very much for watching, and best wishes to everyone. Remember to claim your good luck. After liking and commenting, let's look at the third group. For those who chose the card on the far right, today we will draw cards. First, we will use the inspiration spread to analyze your feelings for him and his feelings for you, as well as the development of the relationship over time. Then, we will draw another card to see the one thing he most wants to say to you. Now, let's start by drawing a card to see your feelings for him. Your feelings for him are represented by the Chariot card, which signifies a sense of control. To be honest, friends in this group have a sense of unwillingness towards this person. When you think of him, you might feel a bit unsettled. This unsettled feeling is likely due to some external obstacles or factors that are not very compatible between you and him, which might cause you to feel this way. You feel that you still need to try, change, and make an effort. This mindset is somewhat like wanting to control and overcome something, so you still find it hard to let go of him. So you think the current relationship with the reversed Six of Cups was too beautiful in the past, making it hard to let go. Because of the reversed Six of Cups, the downside is that the feelings are too deep, making it difficult to face things easily and calmly. So, although we often say not to make major decisions based on sunk costs, sometimes people can't make completely rational decisions. After all, emotions themselves are inherently a matter of sentimentality. You can't handle them in a very rational way. When you talk too much in circles, you might end up feeling a bit wronged and confused. The reversed Six of Cups suggests looking forward and focusing on the future. So I think that although it is very difficult for everyone to completely forget the past, you are trying to make an effort to move on. Try to look at this person and this relationship with a more relaxed mindset. So how do you hope it will develop It's an Ace of Wands, so I think friends in this group might be planning to take some action in their romantic relationships. However, I believe the Ace card definitely signifies a new beginning. For you, what you want is a new situation. It can include him, or it can be without him, but you don't want to go back to the past. The past might have some unhappy or unpleasant memories, so you don't want to repeat it. Actually, not repeating the past is a good thing. Let's see how he feels about you. Where do his emotions fall? The card drawn is a 2. He likes you. The Cups cards are easy to draw, except for the second group. The first and third groups belong to this category, indicating the other person is affectionate. His view on the relationship, well, this is a real obstacle, because a reversed Hierophant card appeared. When he sees you as the 2 of Cups, he really cherishes the emotional connection with you. Because, to be honest, the 2 of Cups signifies a soulmate, or someone who is truly in love. He feels that the emotions between the 2 of you are equal. Maybe there are some things he hasn't had the chance to say, or some things he hasn't had the chance to express. But in his heart, he believes you are the person he sees and immediately wants to have and can't forget. I think what can be seen is that you both are in this relationship. The difficult point is that there might be some external obstructive factors. I think there's nothing wrong with your feelings because the 2 of Cups indeed indicates affection. The problem might be the relationship itself, as the reversed Hierophant card suggests. When the Hierophant is reversed, it represents the influence of traditional aspects. For example, if you are in a forbidden love, right? It could be a love triangle, or a situation where one of you already has a family. In the secular realm, this relationship is not very blessed. The other person feels a lot of pressure about this matter, which may correspond to the disapproval and prohibition from parents or elders. The Hierophant represents a sense of authority, some elders, and things that cannot be countered or discussed on equal terms, making him feel very pressured and constrained. Of course, if there is a significant social status difference between the 2 of you, such as one person having a higher social status and more power, this could also be a factor. When a person is a bit lower, he will also consider these factors because I feel that the Hierophant definitely won't engage in an equal dialogue. The emotions you give him are reciprocal, but in this relationship it is very obvious that the other party finds it difficult to accept and manage certain aspects. He hopes for future development. It's a Judgment card, and when Judgment appears, it might indicate a bit of trouble, because Judgment can also correspond to the feeling that some things are indeed very difficult to change. I think Judgment represents a sense of breaking free. In my opinion, falling in love is easy, but staying together is hard. We often say that. Love can overcome all difficulties, but I hope people don't say this too often because I've seen too many instances in love where this isn't the case. It's very heartbreaking, very struggling and painful energy, so this is my verbal advice. I hope everyone doesn't say it, because this way, everyone can have a peaceful feeling in their consciousness and feel that love brings sweetness. This sentence was a bit of a slip of the tongue, but I think his main emotion here is that he feels this relationship is very good. Because you see, for him, it's a major card, and for you, it's 2 major cards plus a 2 of Cups. This really means love, but it's like I can't get it, If you ask whether he wants to get back together with you, he would feel that it's very difficult. He can't just impulsively and emotionally get back together with you. He feels that he can't let go of the relationship between you two, but it seems like he can only let go passively. If he doesn't let go, he doesn't know what else he can do. If he doesn't let go, he feels that he can't provide you with the protection you might need. If he doesn't let go, he also doesn't know what he should do. Because maybe from his heart, he feels that your emotional relationship is indeed a very important topic in life. He thinks this topic is really a bit too difficult. Your relationship makes me feel that emotionally you are very consistent and in sync, but each person may care about different things, which leads to this rather awkward situation. I think he really sees you as very important, and all the cards are major ones, and the 2 of Cups is also one of them. It really makes one feel that this is a precious card to look at for development, using a 3-card spread of past, present, and future to see the development of the relationship over 3 months. In the past, there was a 6 of Pentacles. Was there a third-party relationship or some third-party obstacle? The third party doesn't necessarily mean another person, but the 6 of Pentacles here definitely indicates some third-party influence On the other hand, the Six of Pentacles also suggests that despite any third-party issues or obstacles, the interaction between the two of you was still quite good. The Six of Pentacles represents a give and take, but perhaps the balance was off. The level of equality is a bit lacking because the Six of Pentacles indicates that one person will be more proactive while the other will be more passive. Someone actively gives and someone passively receives. Now, there is a reversed Hunter card, which means that currently communication between the two of you is not very easy. The third group is indeed very prone to having their emotions blocked by external energies. So the feeling I get about your relationship is that when it comes to emotions, well, the attraction of love is quite sufficient, but there may be no way to solve some problems. There is indeed a gap in this relationship. Where will it end up in the future? The future is a reversed Ten of Cups, still a water element card. The reversed Ten of Cups has both good and bad points. As a reversed card, it cannot reach the most harmonious, consistent, and peak state. But it also has good news, indicating that there will still be emotional connections in your future. Or is there this kind of interaction and contact? But if you say it's particularly good, it's actually not that great, because in this group, especially in your emotional relationship, if the obstacles come from the family level, those obstacles will still be there. The emotional connection between you two is very uneasy and lacks support. There might be people around who are trying to separate you. The feeling of being pulled away, okay, one point is that it might be hard to let go emotionally, so it's difficult to cut off the real-life relationship. It's hard to say that you won't feel moved when you meet again, and it's hard to treat each other as strangers when you meet again. But indeed, in the later stages of your development, it feels like the emotions between you two are still quite unresolved. How should I put it? It's like there's a lot of emotion hidden inside, but only a small part of it is shown on the outside. In this situation, neither of you are particularly proactive. In the past, the earth element was more stable. Now it's the air element, which is more conflicted and uneasy. In the future, the hot water element will come into play, but the motivation will still be relatively slow. Of course, this emotional relationship has never been particularly proactive in terms of action. Let's take another look. What is the one thing the other person wants to say to you the most? The reversed Five of Wands wants to tell you that it's tired and doesn't want to argue anymore, doesn't want to fight anymore, just wants to tell you. Actually, when facing this emotional relationship, it just confirms that it has no energy left, not that it has no feelings for you. Remember that its feelings for you are very precious in its life. It's just that the two of you can't communicate smoothly and equally in this relationship, which makes him feel very troubled. He feels that at this moment, A good way to face this relationship is for him to compromise, because the reversed Five of Wands indicates an unwillingness to confront. This is one interpretation. However, if the energy of this conflict comes from within both of you, even though the obstacles come from external sources, it can lead to an imbalance in your attitudes when facing each other. He actually wants to tell you that no matter what, he doesn't want to present himself in a very negative light in front of you. He plans to avoid the situation a bit, in a way. I really feel like I can't solve the problem, so let me hide for a while, let me step back for a bit. I want to avoid this conflict. That's what I want to say to you. So this is all the content for our third group of friends. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best. Remember to claim your good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.